Jordy.
Señor.
How you doing, my guy?
I'm good, Brody. I'm very good. Very good.
So we've probably been here for almost an hour now, chatting it up.
This is true.
We've been
This is very true.
setting things up. If you guys don't know, this is our first podcast.
First one.
So when you do a first podcast or first anything, there's a lot of practicing you have to do, a lot of seeing what you have, and it's been fun.
An absolute honor.
Last minute on. This was last minute. We didn't know we were gonna do this,
No.
but we are doing it.
Yes.
So tell us, bro. Tell those people who don't know who you are, who is Jordy Frias?
Jordy Frias is someone who just wants to serve wherever he can. Wants to be a continuous, faithful believer to the Lord. A privilege to serve him in my church. With the youth there for a couple of odd years now. Want to be a good fiance, but I want to be a better husband.
Yeah, come on, somebody.
Get married in a couple of months. Crazy to think. Long time coming, but we are finally here.
Long time.
And the day is soon arriving. 163 days, I guess. I think from today.
Wow, that's impressive. You actually know that.
But no one's counting.
If you're no one's counting.
I mean, I was no. Yeah, and I also teach. The privilege to teach at an elementary school. I'm an educator by occupation. But it's more than that. It's just just my heart. So that too, I believe God called me there and really shifted pathways and roads that I was assuming that I was going to go on. But when you involve God, and you involve him 100%, you're giving him control of guiding you, and it's up to you to say yes to that. And thankfully, I've said yes to all those moments, and it's brought me here. So I'm just even in this setting here, it's a privilege in itself. Very humbling. You'll probably hear me say that a lot, just because that's just where I live from.
For sure.
And if there's time, I mean, I think we've shared it too in the past, but I've learned how to be satisfied in God's vineyard.
I've
learned how to be satisfied in God's kingdom, no matter where that is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, really quick before we continue, we have a little audience here, guys. You guys can laugh. You guys don't have to hold your laughter. If you want to laugh, you can laugh. It's okay. Gabriel, you can smile. You don't smile.
Hey, Garter, leave it up.
Hey, there we go. See, we got some life in here. Now the tension is a little off. Now we got pasteles coming in, so all my Spanish people out there. Really quick, bro. So you are a believer in Jesus Christ.
Yes.
So tell us, in a brief summary, how has that been for you?
That's been more than I expected. It's been an absolute life-changing experience. At 17, I got saved. Challenging, absolutely. It doesn't get easier. It does get challenging.
For sure.
When you say yes to Jesus, and for me, it's been. I mean, I literally, the biggest thing is just I walk around with a secured hope.
Yeah.
I can walk around secure and certain that I have hope that that if this doesn't work out or something's going on in the world or this society or that, I have a hope. It's more than just what I can touch, what I can see, what I can be gratified, what I can click a heart on. That hope is real. That hope is in a person. And God's been so faithful. He's been so consistent and trustworthy with all of it. From my occupation to me being with my fiance to me being where I'm at my church, just all of it. And I've learned so much from it. A lot of lows, a lot of highs, and a lot of moments where I had to learn and be humbled by God, and Um, but it's been the best decision that I've ever made.
I'm glad, bro.
Um, and I'm glad I said yes 12 years ago. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I wouldn't. No regrets
Cool.
at all.
I do want to let the audience know, though, we are not a faith-based podcast, but if someone who does come onto the show does believe in Jesus or has any type of faith, I will want them to share it.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
just making sure that that's clear as well.
Yeah.
So you said 17 years ago, you at 17 you were saved. Well, I can't speak saved.
Yeah.
To 12 years ago, you said that was. So that means you're what, 29 or about to be 29?
Holla at your boy.
About to be
29
29
in
2 weeks.
14 days, my guy.
How I knew that? Because I just know.
You
I'm
my
just that
guy.
guy. I'm that guy. So as a 29-year-old, what is the hardest thing that you have to deal with at 29
It's kind of cool.
or your late 20s?
Move the mics and
Getting
stuff.
excited with the mic?
Yeah, yeah.
Take a deep breath. Buddy. Take a deep breath.
Hardest thing?
Yeah, hardest thing you can deal with.
Man, right now, hardest thing right now is juggling my relationship with the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
being a fiance, serving at church,
Mhm.
work, and trying to like manage the next steps of our life together.
You and your fiance.
Yeah. And
But you have something else that you do.
oh yeah.
You were gonna forget that. I don't understand how you're
Wow.
gonna forget that.
He's like, when are you gonna tell me? Yeah, and also photography, like
Yeah.
also doing that too. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And I mean people can tell you like adulthood is hard or easy but honestly, like you gotta grow up and go through it
For sure.
to really know what it feels like making adult decisions it's not easy, it's not fun. And I think that's the perks of just being a kid and being young.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to
It's true.
make these decisions that are going to affect and impact you for like several years ahead of you. But yeah, that's been the most challenging now. Just
To deal with all 5 of those, 6 of those things.
realizing like, yeah, I'm about to like shift in a point in my life where like mom and dad are not going to be there
Every day.
readily accessible.
Yeah.
Right. Because now like
You gotta grow up.
Jen and I are gonna. Oh, my fiance's name is Genesis.
Okay.
Jen and I are gonna like shift, and we're gonna create our own family.
Yeah.
And we are gonna become a family.
For sure.
So when we deal with our troubles,
Mhm.
we'll have to deal with it ourselves. But just all of that, managing that, and making sure each of those
Yeah.
is getting the primary time and the appropriate time. I mean, is the most challenging.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you deal with a lot of things. One of them, I can say I think a lot of them are choices that you make to do that you want to do these things,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
One of them, the photography thing, right?
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that?
It's about to be 2 years almost.
2 years now?
Yeah, in February.
Interesting.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
is
crazy.
that just a hobby?
It started off as a hobby, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's still a hobby.
So that means you still love to do it.
Yeah, I love
Okay.
doing it. It's very therapeutic.
Okay, tell us
Honestly.
more.
But no, yeah. So I've always wanted to, like, I've always liked taking pictures, whether it's
Correct.
on my phone or whatever.
Well, I
I've always
remember.
liked taking photos.
If y'all don't know, he's a close friend of mine, so that's why I
Yeah.
said I know we've been friends for almost 12 years. 12
So
years? Yeah, 11.
we, yeah. So like I was like, I always wanted to get a camera, and then 2021, especially during the pandemic, like I guess a lot of people had like time to think and stuff like that. People got into things. And 2021, I was like, you know what? I was on February break from work.
Mhm.
I was like, I'm gonna get a camera. I woke up, I was like, oh, I'm getting a camera today. So that whole week, I just did homework on the YouTube and checked out all the different videos that were
YouTube is the reason
available.
why we're here today.
Oh yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
And yeah, I did a lot of homework. Went and spoke to a lot of people that I knew who did it professionally.
Yeah.
Got their advice, and they led me to go this way, and I went that way, and ever since, man, it's been super fun. Like I now like I have a greater appreciation for the arts.
Mm, good
Um
way to put that.
uh than I did before getting a camera, or when I was younger.
Yeah.
A deeper appreciation for the arts of photography, videography, art, drawing, singing, just art, everything that encompasses arts. Deep appreciation for it. It kind of like I kind of see it as a channel, a vessel to kind of express a bit about who you are
Yeah.
behind whatever it is that you're doing.
Got it.
Um, and the camera is I guess my tool of expression
Mm,
at times, to maybe capture a moment, tell a story, create a long lasting memory. So yeah, that's how that came about.
got it.
And then I've had the opportunity and the privilege to do shoots for people,
Mm,
and gigs for people, and that's been a blessing.
yeah.
It's been a blessing.
And do you want to, if you had a choice, right? If you had an option, because you said you are a teacher, been teaching for over 7, 8 years now,
Yeah.
and you said 7 years, 7 years, would you want to do photography full time? If you had the option to.
That would be fun. Um, yeah, I think I would.
Interesting. I think
I
a lot
think
of
so.
people. I think a lot of people have hobbies that they wish were like their full time gigs.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
no, I think so. I've thought about it too.
Yeah.
How would that look if I did it full time? But that would be dope. It would be dope. But I love teaching too.
Got it.
So it's like a
But I think you love a lot of things. But like, what is something? Yeah, I think we all do. I think we all love to do a lot of things.
yeah.
But like, what will be the most thing like you will have the most fun doing for like? Because I believe whatever you want to do for the long run is something you should love to do and want to do.
I think I need to be with people.
So you think you need to be connected with people
Yeah, I think
on a more constant basis, like teaching compared to just photography.
yeah. So I love being in front of the kids
Got it.
and just having those
The energy
those
and
moments with them, and
got
just
it.
like feeding off of their energy and feeding off of that,
Makes sense.
like nothing beats that. But I'm not in objection to the full time photography,
Yeah.
but definitely I think I might lean more towards the teaching,
Got it.
just because of
You don't have to lie, bro. It's about the money. I won't say anything. I'm kidding.
the passion that I have, and just the moments that you have, man.
Yeah.
You can't buy those moments.
Yeah, for sure,
You
100%.
can't make them up. Like
I
they
agree.
just organically happen, and when they happen, it's like I'll never forget it.
Mhm.
I'll never forget it.
Really quick, before we jump from that photography thing, can you tell everybody what your social media handle is so
Oh
people can follow
wow!
you and if they need your services, that they can ask?
Check this out. It is at JFlix.
How do you spell that?
That's my handle. So J Flick, drop the K with an X.
So spell that out because
So
I'm confused.
right. So JFLICX.
Interesting. Nothing else. No
JFlix.
underscores. No nothing. Just say flicks.
JFlix.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's my
And we're gonna put that in the description too of the video for sure.
that's my
Yo,
photography
Luke, you heard
name,
that?
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Great. But bro, we live in a world definitely where the internet's advancing, right?
For
Social
sure.
media is everywhere.
Like they recently just did this AI thing with
Or the AI
the
picture
photos and all that
things.
good stuff.
I
Yeah.
will show people, but I don't
Haven't
like the ones that came out.
I haven't done mine yet, but
Yeah. If you guys when you guys watch this video, it's probably gonna be a while before this. How to say it? That they're gonna watch it a while after we recorded the
yes,
video.
yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This has happened a couple of times a month ago before you watched it. Wow.
We both can't explain
Whoa.
it, but it's okay. We're gonna move on.
Today is not today. Today was a month ago.
You confused the
At
hell
least.
out of me. Well, anyway, let's move on. It's an app called Lensa,
Oh my goodness. Yes.
where I think it's like AI, the technology makes your picture makes like a regular picture of yourself into like different backgrounds, but make you look like futuristic per se, or like honestly, it makes it look like you're in a cartoon.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty
It
cool
does.
though, because they have like different categories of the pictures. I think it's pretty dope.
Yeah, yeah.
But as we live in a world that's so advancing, right? And literally we can say we have the whole world in our hands. Like you can say probably like 7, 8 years ago that wasn't the case.
Yeah, that's true.
Like we had the whole world in our hands on a constant basis. As a 29-year-old, have you ever had issues with mental health?
All right. Okay, we're going there. Yeah.
Yeah, we are going there.
Uh,
Because just really quick, guys, just because we're believers does not mean that we don't deal with health issues, like our mental health and dealing with it.
yeah.
So that's why I want to ask you that.
Uh, I've dealt with. I wouldn't say mental health, but I've dealt with anxiety and
Hmm.
guilt for trying to like please others.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Talk about us about the guilt of pleasing others.
So I have this. I mean, it could be a blessing or a curse, but I have this thing where like I feel like I try to compromise and try to make everyone in the room
You like to please everybody,
to see if we can satisfy everybody in the room here.
basically. Gotcha.
Um, and that everyone's happy, and
Hmm.
it bothers me when someone has something against me, or
Hmm.
or if I feel there's tension there, like
Hmm.
I think about it, it's in my head,
Do
I
you
can't get
address
it
tension
out.
or do you like let it linger?
Um, I don't like confrontation.
Gotcha.
um,
I know that. I'm just letting you,
right
you
now,
know, we
yeah,
had all these
I
conversations,
don't
but just for audience sake.
I don't like the confrontation. I think throughout the years, I think I've been more open to it
Yeah.
because I think I've seen and been through a couple of moments, and I have grown to be okay in understanding that it's okay to say no or to disagree and still be respectful.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like that guilt of trying to please someone, and when you don't, you feel guilty about it. Like that was me for a long time. There's still pockets of it too.
Yeah.
Uh, trying to make up for things or feeling like I need to do a little extra so that I can kind of like make up for
Mhm.
what this side did. Um, I mean, it's not fun too.
It's not.
It's draining. Kind of like in for me, like it's heavy on my mind. Like I'm always thinking about it. Like it doesn't allow you to think straight.
Yeah.
Um, and that's bothersome for me. Like I want to forget it, but I can't
Yeah. It's
because
hard to.
I'm thinking about, man, like we're not okay,
Yeah.
and that bothers me.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I dealt with that and the anxiety too. Um,
Well,
there's
before we go jump to the anxiety really quick, when it comes to the pleasing others,
yeah.
how do you make yourself better in that? Like not being able to please everybody. Because we know we live in a world we can't everyone is not gonna be pleased. No matter what decision you make, there's always gonna be someone who does not agree.
Yeah.
So how do you make yourself better in making decisions that you believe are supposed to be true? Because one, you said you are in leadership,
Hmm.
one as a teacher, and one as in ministry, you say in church, that you are in leadership positions or you have to make decisions that you feel is the correct thing to do,
Yeah.
but not everyone is going to be okay with that decision, right? You always have two sides. So how do you work on getting better in that field
Um,
or area?
I try to see what's in front of me and see what is it that needs to be catered with.
Yeah.
And if I believe that is the best solution to that,
Yeah.
then I'll run with that.
Hmm.
Um, for example, like in my classroom, like I know my kids best.
Yeah.
I'm with them every day.
Yeah.
I'm in the grind with
You know
them.
what's
I'm
best
in the
for
muck
them.
and the mire with them. I'm in the trenches with them.
Hmm.
They know me. I know them. I know their struggles. So I know, like, you know what? Maybe this might not work. Let's go this way. Like we don't. We'll waste some time on this. Let's kind of get that out the way and
Yeah.
focus on this. And the same thing goes for like leadership, um, in church and just the opportunities that I've had to serve the youth.
Hmm.
Just seeing like how do you everyone's different, so the way you deal with them has to be different. So one way it's not gonna satisfy everybody in the room.
Yeah.
Same thing with teaching. Like the one way of teaching is not gonna satisfy every learner in the classroom. Um, and and I've learned just how to accept, like, sometimes you might have to disagree to agree. I mean, agree to disagree. Sometimes it'll just be like you just you won't see eye to eye,
Yeah.
and that's it.
You have just to take it how it is. Yeah, I've learned
And that's
that
it.
when you're making decisions, and someone does not agree, like you have to realize you can't control how other people feel.
Yeah.
You know, people's emotions are not in your control. You have to learn how to be like, okay, that's how you feel. I'm sorry that you feel that way. That's not my intentions. But the decision that I made, yeah, I feel like has to be it. It is that
Yes.
decision.
Yeah. And it's like, so like for me, like when I make decisions,
Yeah,
I inquire of the Lord,
for sure.
right? Like I include God in it, and I make decisions around Him, because I wanted that wherever I go, wherever my decisions are being made, I want the Lord before me, going
Yeah.
ahead of me into that space.
Yes.
So when I do make these decisions, I always inquire of the Lord and I ask God to lead me in these. So for me, it's more than just being like happy with the decision.
Hmm.
It's more of a like I need peace and understanding, like this is aligned with what God is guiding me with.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then I have to get out of like I need to get out of the way.
Correct.
Um and not be so focused in trying to please people, because if I'm asking God to lead me and He's showing me and giving me peace for certain decisions,
Yeah.
then why am I going to get in the way again?
Yeah.
If I ask God firstly to help me in these decisions. So for me, like that's how I distinguish those moments where like, God, I need you to guide me, and I've in believing that God is giving me peace here, there, and leading me in this in those directions. Um, that has to be enough.
Smells really
That
good.
that has to be enough. That
Sorry.
needs to be over the pleasing of other people. And I mean, people are gonna have opinions,
Yeah.
right? Everyone's gonna have one. And
Yeah. You gotta run with it. That's
those
whatever
opinions are gonna
happens.
be there. So it's like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Uh, but at the same time, you're respectful with it. You're
Yeah.
respectful towards it. So yeah.
I know with the next few minutes that we have, there's like two areas I want to tackle first. So with this podcast being called Talks with the Next, you know, people that I believe are the next generations to take over like in leadership, entrepreneurship, whatever that is. Not whatever it is, but those are just two things I'm gonna talk about.
Yeah.
As someone who is 29 years old and already in leadership, and you're considered still young to other people who are already in those areas, right?
This
Of
is true.
leadership that they're overseeing, like for you for ministry. And then, you know, as a teacher, you're kind of like the head of the classroom, but you still have like principals above you.
Yep.
And some parents may look at you when you first started, right? When you first started teaching, like,
Yeah.
yo, this kid looks like he could be my child.
Like he was born yesterday.
He was born
Yeah.
yesterday. Like, how are you teaching my child?
Is that a fake mustache? Yeah.
So someone who doesn't have facial hair, and I'm 26 right now. I only have this little goatee. It looks like something. I'm not going to say that. How do you deal with being young and having some sort of authority? And not some sort of authority. How do you deal with that?
It's good. Thought of three things right now.
Go ahead.
Knowing what you've been called to.
That's good.
But still being able to relate to those you're serving.
Very true.
And
Good.
That third one's gonna come. But I had it in my mind, but that third one's gonna come.
Got it.
I believe it's a mix. There it is.
There it is.
You can't. There it is. Thank you, Holy Ghost. There isn't. You can't give to people what you don't got.
Oof.
Like I was trying to make it sound fancy, but it's just that simple.
Good right there.
It's just that simple.
That's right.
You can't give to people what you don't have.
That's right.
And that's very simple, but it's very practical. Like, I'll start there. Being in leadership, whether it's in the classroom for me or at church with the youth, like,
Yeah.
I need to understand, like, whatever it is that I'm doing, it needs to start with me first.
Yeah.
I need to be filled up to the brim with God. I need to be filled up to the brim in prepping and internalizing my lessons. I need to be filled up.
Yeah.
I need to be full of whatever it is that I
I'm giving
need to
out.
give,
Yeah.
right? I say need because that's the position I'm in. So I need to acknowledge where I'm at.
Yeah.
This is my position.
Yeah.
I am responsible to give information, to teach
Yeah.
information. I'm responsible to lead other people, other youth,
Yeah.
essentially closer to Jesus,
Got it.
to point them to him, to point it to him, like John the Baptist, that I may decrease so that he may increase, right? That's always the goal. So understanding what you're called to, I think
Got
is one of the things that we need to understand. And being able to know, okay, this is what what I'm called to.
Mm.
I'm confident of this. When we lack confidence in what we believe God has called us, not confidence in ourselves, but confidence in the call of God over it,
Yeah.
then we lose and we lack the efficacy then which we can have in it,
Yeah.
because we're not walking in it believing this is what God called us to do, or we go about it lackadaisical and we go about it timid because we are going in this maybe, but here it is. And
Mhm.
what that does is it may sometimes forfeit the opportunity for people to actually be blessed by what God has deposited in one individual.
Yeah.
And when you know what you're called to, your position, then you walk in it with the authority that is in God.
Yeah.
You are walking in faith, believing God called me to this.
Yeah.
So all glory to Him, and I'm gonna walk in
Right.
this because I know that He's calling me to this.
Right.
I also want to be relatable to the people that I'm serving.
Yeah.
I don't want to be seen as a monarch or someone that is just like them and that's the youth,
Yeah.
that's the people who are like I need it to be so seamless where like if you see us together, yeah, you can tell apart like who's leading,
Who's in who's
but
in
you
charge
can
of
tell like there's a strong relationship there.
Yeah.
I'm saying that because for me, like that's what it was for me. I had a
Yeah.
moment where I felt, man, like do the youth relate to me?
Yeah.
And for me, that was striking to me because I wanted to make sure that I just wasn't someone that they saw or heard just giving messages, or I don't want my kids to just see me as someone telling them what to do and giving them grades.
Yeah.
I want them to see me as someone who's human too,
That's true.
who goes home
That's true.
and has headaches
That's true.
and gets a cold and gets
Yeah.
a fever and has real moments
Yeah.
in real life. And I let them see me for who I am in the classroom.
That's right.
I'm like, guys, sorry, Mr. Reed needs a moment right now.
Yeah.
Same thing with the youth. Like, I think it's okay to be vulnerable with them to
That's
the
right.
extent, right? That's reasonable.
Yeah. You want
To
to give
show
too much, you know.
right? To
I get it.
show them like, hey, I'm not gonna put my dirty laundry out there.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna show them, hey, listen, I go to the laundromat too.
Yeah.
I need things cleaned up in my life too.
Yeah.
And I can't have all this stored up and only show you the clean clothes.
Yeah.
I need to show you everything else that's piled up
Yeah.
because I'm a piece of work at work, I guess. I'm a canvas that's still being worked on, and God is working on that. And I think that's important for leaders to do and to keep in mind and to continue to emphasize. Like, people need to like see and understand like you're just like them too.
That's right.
It's just that God called you to this specific way, and God is calling them in this specific way, and He's given you the opportunity to serve
Got
others.
it. So really quickly, before you
Go ahead.
before you jump to the next one, in that camera, so the people, the audience,
Yes.
those three things. Go.
Right here. Know what you're called to. Also acknowledge that you are relatable to the people that you're serving,
Yeah.
and you can't give from what you don't got.
That's right.
You got to
Come
make
on.
sure that you're
So,
full and you're filled with whatever it is that
You
you're
must be
supposed to
appreciative.
and responsible to give. And that's that's
so
what
really
it was
quickly
for
to
me.
wrap everything up,
Yeah.
because we'd like
Ah,
to
I
keep this
wish-
only 30 minutes.
I wish we had more time.
If the audience wants wants a part two,
Part
then we give them a part,
part two.
if they want it.
Hit us up in the comments if you want part two.
Well, you guys are probably wondering how we got here. We had some technical difficulties, which brings me here to ask Jordy one more question. So Jordy, I want to ask you to come up with a question that you want to ask my next person to have on my podcast. So what would that question be?
That's good. Okay.
who are you thankful for that invested in you?
That's a good question. It's hard for me to even answer that.
Yeah, I got a couple.
You have a good question. But bro, thank you so much for being on, man. I do appreciate you, man. I love you.
Such a pleasure. Love you, man.
And family, I'll see you guys in 2 weeks when we drop our next episode. Love ya.